President Trump warning there could be more to come.
Remember, there are many targets left. Tonight's was the most difficult of them all, by far, and perhaps the most lethal. But if peace does not come quickly, we will go after those other targets with precision, speed, and skill.
Albanese refused to admit or deny that America's second most important spy base in the world, Pine Gap in the Northern Territory, was used to help pinpoint the accuracy of those bunker busters and a dozen-plus Tomahawk missiles fired from a nuclear sub to soften up Iranian defence systems at the ancient Persian city of Isfahan.
Speaking with a journalist on this very question earlier today.
Pine Gap used in this attack was information that's been garnered there, used as part of this attack on Iran.
We are upfront, but we don't talk about intelligence, obviously. But we've made very clear this was unilateral action taken by the United States.
But you can be sure that Pine Gap was intimately involved in the Saturday night attack because it's America's second most important spy base in the world. It was used during the Iraq War for America to bomb the poor people of Iraq.
The US military's top secret spy base.
Pine Gap is absolutely key to the command and control of United States forces in the Western Pacific and the Indian Ocean. And Pine Gap, in fact, covers most of the territory of Russia.
The facilities at Pine Gap can compute the location of the launch, the time, absolutely precise time of the launch, the trajectory, which can be calculated from projecting from its initial trajectory, and can then inform the American and Japanese missile defence facilities on land and at sea that if those interceptor missiles are then pointed at a particular part of the sky, not the whole sky, but just a very particular part, then their radars have a chance of picking up the incoming missile and destroying them.
I'd love to be at the dinner table tonight of Foreign Policy Minister Penny Wong. I'd love to be a fly on the wall as she gives her justification to her partner and to her two lovely daughters why it's okay for the US to bomb Iran, killing hundreds of innocent civilians and injuring thousands, but it's not all right for a violent husband or a male partner, a female partner for that matter, to beat the living daylights out of his estranged wife or ex. I'd like to hear what logic Albanese uses to his son Nathan or it's okay for America to kill kids and civilians in Iran, but it's not all right for a male partner to use a hammer or a knife to bludgeon to death his female partner or girlfriend.
We are calling on all parties to prioritise dialogue and diplomacy. We specifically call on Iran to exercise restraint in their actions so as not to risk any broader conflict.
And I'd love to hear what the rationale is of Richard Marles to his wife at the dinner table in Geelong tonight and his 4 kids about why it's okay for America to drop those bunker busters on the civilian people of Iran, but it's not all right for a gay partner to beat the living daylights out of his lover when he finds that he's cheated on him, or for a man to beat up his wife.
You have that Iran is building a nuclear weapon. Your intelligence community has said they have no evidence that they are at this point.
Well, then my intelligence community is wrong. Who in the intelligence community said that?
Your Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard.
She's wrong.
President Trump and I often say, peace through strength. First comes strength, then comes peace. And tonight, President Trump and the United States acted with a lot of strength.
Where's the logic in that, Albo? Where's the logic in it, Richard Marles and Penny Wong? What signal are you sending to the men of Australia that it's not all right to beat up on their female partners, but it's okay for us to do that on the international scale. It's okay for us to have nuclear submarines, to not sign the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty, a promise that Albanese made to the Australian electorate before he was first elected 6 years ago, but never kept. What is Albanese and Richard Marles going to say when Trump wakes up one morning and says, "Oh, I feel it in my gut that it's time to take out China before they turn their nuclear missiles on us"? Are we going to allow their stealth bombers, which are based in Northern Territory at Tyndale Air Base, to be used on Australian soils? We'll have no say in it at all. Will we allow our nuclear-powered submarines we've paid $368 billion for, if we ever get them, to be sailed from our ports in order to go off the coast of Shanghai and Beijing to send their Tomahawk nuclear missiles into China, and to take them out before they take us out, take out Pine Gap? Questions that you have to face, Albanese, Richard Marles and Penny Wong, in getting into bed with America and being just a little bit more pregnant, to the point where we're at a point of no return. You went over to the G7, all the way over to the other side of the world, to have an hour meeting with Trump about nuclear submarines, AUKUS and trade policy, and he didn't even give you the time of day to have a phone conversation with you, saying, "Sorry, Albo, I've got other more important things on my plate. I've got to plan the attack that we've had in preparation for years now to take out Iran and show them who's boss." Shame on you, Albanese. Shame on you, Richard Marles and Penny Wong. You're implicit in breaking international law and war crimes against the people of Iran.